And welcome back. So this week we have internal threat, one of my favorites. Next to memory corruption. That's important. Now, internal threat is usually very cool. It's not just the guy that clicks on a link. Sometimes someone pays significant sums of money for credentials. Now, this from time to time has been something that only a select few know where they're being sold and bought and so on. The so-called tickies. But now these things are on Telegram. Yesterday, something showed up on LinkedIn. I actually chased it over, managed to find where that is. I'm not going to say what that is, where that is, although I'm dying to know who's going to get caught on this fishnet, because there are some quite interesting names on that list. And groups oftentimes they recruit people that work on the inside to get legitimate access to some of these companies, and they pay. Especially ransomware groups, they tend to pay quite well. The word is they pay quite well, and so. If you were questioning yourself, how the hell did all those companies get caught? Yeah, sometimes that person that doesn't feel like it's being that the organization is being fair to them, even if it's not legitimate. These days, most of the value of the company are on electronic devices, on media, on those shares, on those Word files, everything in there. And if the attack is well crafted and the defense team is not fully aware of it, on top of things, you might even have your backups corrupted. There are a number of cases where that happened. And in those cases, it's going to rain. It's going to rain a lot of cash. Because despite of what many say, the reality is a lot of companies pay. So we have here is the post that emerged saying that they're recruiting for any of the following companies. They're actually throwing at telecommunications, software companies, and call centers. I would say call centers are probably a good target because they handle a lot of stuff from bigger companies. So, and they're easy. They're really easy. They're really, really easy. I think if you have a company and you're wondering how if you're doing a risk assessment on an internal with an internal threat scenario, I think hiring or sub-hiring a call center company is probably your biggest risk. You're putting all the data from all your clients at risk. They don't pay well. They have high rotation. The contracts are very loose, and they have access to a lot of valuable information. Client information, personal data information, addresses, names, physical IDs, citizenship IDs. They have a lot of access. A lot of the information, a lot of that information is worth a lot of money. And so it's interesting to see this, in open forum. And the internal threat is really really interesting. So why am I talking about this? Because this might sound desperate, right? But if we look into it from a different perspective, that might not be true, because this emerges right at the end of the summer, when people spend a significant sum of cash in vacations to get their peace of mind, right? And just a few months away from Christmas, where everyone spends their loads of cash on gifts. And it's also right around the same time for a few companies. They do their evaluations around this time as well. In a few cases, I think the timing is perfect, right? If the evaluation was somewhat near this date, with Christmas nearby and a summer on the back, yeah, I think the mood is perfect. I think the mood is perfect. I'm dying to see how many people are going to fall into this net. Now I'm going to show something here. This is a small work in progress that I have here. I got into a small rabbit hole. This is the vault that I'm preparing for the next video. Here, this is the default theme. I'm trying to fix the theme. Basically, this thing is moving, in case you haven't noticed. Obsidian is really cool. It's really flexible, but their CSS skills, they're lacking. It's horrible. I'll show you. I'll show you how that looks like without the fix. Jesus, what the hell is that? Trying to get that fixed there. There's another thing that I'm trying to fix as well here. This one that has that thing moving, and this thing here is also moving. I need to fix that. That in there. This is eventually, but I think we'll close this soon. And I'll show how I organize my stuff. So I'm going to do a video on how you can organize your notes for red teaming and pen testing with Obsidian. I have a number of tricks up my sleeve that I rely on to make things work. So I'll see you on the next one.